Ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the last match of the day. This time around, G2 versus Complexity. I'm really curious to see how this one pads out because there is a lot of conversation for G2 and Complexity, how they've been playing out throughout this tournament. This is yet to decide who's going to come out as a loser, who's going to be knocked out of this event. So these two teams are playing for the lifetime on this tournament, slightly favoring G2 Esports. Of course, they've been a little bit better against Complexity. At least hypothetically, they should come out on top, but who knows how this one goes, because Complexity have also been showing quite a good performance. They've been able to put up quite a good competition against Gambit in recent times, also took over NIP in a 2-0 fashion. That was a very nice road for them this tournament specifically, so definitely an up-swinging performance by Complexity. The guys from the squad do fire off, and G2 Esports also not dragging behind. They are having a lot of fuel in their bags to shed on this matchup specifically. I'm pretty sure it's going to be head-to-head, and we are into the first map of the series. Vertigo to start it off, the map pick of Complexity. G2 Esports start off on the T side, and they are already approaching the mid position, silent but sure in their steps. The first smoke will be deployed to cover off City. That is the information gathered, and Complexity started to make a move right now. Jax, oh my god, he jumps through and does fire off 2 shots immediately after that. That is so significant by Jax. That opens up the business. The A-bomb site has been ignored by G2 Esports, but instead they are having the B for the grabs. The bomb yet to be planted down. Here it comes. Nexa is the one to ingrain it deep in the ground. JKS below. He's playing with fire. He's at the edge of the precipice to fall off in this round as well. And that is only blame after the poor man to left behind the squad and save his USPS with armor as well. Something to be happy about going into the next round if they want to force buy, but that is not the start Complexity were looking for. G2 Esports also on the T side confirmed the first pistol round is theirs, and well, that was a very confident one. They broke into the mid position straight over the flashbang. Jax lined up 2 players immediately, and just no conversation for Complexity really in the previous round. There was only JKS trying to put up some resistance from below, but at the end of the day, you're having 4 players running you down. It is impossible to survive the storm of that extent. So that is the first round for G2 Esports, and they are playing up against Deagles, which I think may be very detrimental for their offensive. They've already lost 1 player of their squad, and Hunter is next in line. He's at the brink of being eliminated out of this round as well. Lord, he's on 12 HP only, and so far Complexity haven't received a single portion of damage. Only Blame Map down to 68 and Poison over... And Poison on 83, that is not the way you want to go into the next round, G2 Esports. You are about to be knocked out by Complexity. Reverse sweep, but this time around with a force buy. Playmath throws out a nade. That's going to drop Hunter out of contention. Playmath still holds with the Deagle, picks out. That's going to frag. He needs 50 seconds remaining. He goes for another one, and this is the individuality we are talking about. Playmath delivers the frag. And I think he's done just enough. It is Nico all alone against 3. It does have a bit of a chance to fight against these players, that's for sure. But with Config on top, lighting him up, that is not going to be a possibility nearby. So the second round is crossed out of their plan. It is no longer available. It is the first for Complexity, and we are all tied up. Playmath opposing the first player rushing. That was Nexa. Lord, he took a lot of initiative. There was nobody to trade him out. And this is exactly what Des was talking about as well. How much confidence, how much initiative do G2 Esports want to take into this game? They were talking about Nuke specifically, but it looks like Complexity's map pick also looks very appealing for G2 Esports to show that aggressiveness, to show that playstyle they are known for. Ooh, Hunter does find Config through the railing. He goes down. That's a 4-on-3, and G2 Esports are fighting for the chance to pull back, get another round. But I don't think it is going to be a possibility. Still, Complexity are in a way better spot. Just looking at their weapons, HP as well, availability of nades, 2 mollies and nade chi. That is all for Poison and Rush. Another chip of damage landing onto Jax. He's gonna go down to 51 HP. He's trying to line the Deke shut up, but so far no impact seen. Just a counter molly to hold them at bay. Rush up close. He's played an off angle, and surely Amanek has no chance of meeting him down. Avenda now victorious in this fight. He inches ever a bit closer, and they're grinding the clock down, and I don't think G2 Esports will be able to withstand the pressure unless the timing works out their way. Poison again through the smoke at his line just in front. He approaches even further, and that is Amanek all alone is going to be coming from the back and also experiences his death. So the second for Complexity, and they are back on their grounds. They are back in the lead, and this proves why they picked Vertigo, right? Despite G2 Esports took out the pistol round, they said, guys, we don't care. Like, we've lost the pistol round, but we're gonna get the advantage back afterwards. Do not allow G to accelerate their pace whatsoever. No, we're gonna be right back. And this is exactly what is happening right now. They are up to the third round. G2 Esports are heavily down by means of their economy. 5 Glocks across the board. Not a single upgraded pistols. Nor utility is on their side. Look at Config. He's taking so much space right here. They are having no clue. He's peering himself ever a bit closer. Knife would have been loved to see by the viewers, but going for such a risk, you can understand him pulling off the trigger immediately. Just farming up some cash that is still worth getting an MP9 frag. It will give you a fair amount of money sailing into the next round. He goes for yet another attempt. These are the Glocks. Not a big danger to be worried about, but still, they are getting the frags. Glocks, they do work out so far. Very nice. They've been able to find 2 kills, of course. Complexity do recover, but still a very nice opposition with Glocks. You don't normally see that happening. You are oftentimes aiming for 1 kill at the very least. Well, the maximum. That's the cap of the eco rounds. If you're having all 5 Glocks leaned out across the board, then normally it means that it is only good for 1 kill, but 2 already good. Credit for G2 Esports to force Complexity into rebuying. Their economy still looks pretty good. At least 3 of the players are having a penny in their pocket. The rest of 2, that is Config and Blaymath, have been obliged to empty their pockets over in this round for the sake of better weapons. Okidokyo, that is a heavily bruised timing. I mean, that didn't go well for G2 Esports, something they were not prepared for. Complexity just went for the dry peak. They didn't see that coming. Rush came out. He pulled off the trigger and lined up himself 2 free frags. G2 Esports were napping, completely unaware of what was right there. Nico is about to sleep by. He's done so, but Poison is aware of that. He's got his AWP right on this angle. Oh, he's going for the flank. They are having no idea about that. He's going to go for the spam off. P250 going to get Amanek down to 58 HP, and so far, looking good for both of the teams. G2 Esports are having a real chance to grab it back. The bomb is in the process of being planted down. Goes behind the boxes. JKS takes every single step calculated. Make sure no mistake is going to be given away for Amanek. Now his position is no. Amanek has got to be so unlucky to lose this round, and he's going to get it. Takes JKS down and makes sure the second round is his. G2 Esports recover with a one-on-one clutch for Amanek. Great job done by him. Yeah, I mean, such a gift for Rush to collect that all. It was a 5-on-3, and yet G2 Esports find a way to back in to this game, to back into this round, to be more precise. Blaymath definitely not happy about that. He knew that it was their round for sure. It was a 5-on-3, also a very nice timing you could have dreamt of. You could only dream of for Poison to come all the way around with an AWP. Unfortunately, he couldn't be able to find a frag with a P250. And that is the problem of lining up a player from the back with the P250. With any weapon, basically. Like, you're trying to aim at a headshot angle, but sometimes it goes by and you don't hit that. You've got to be able to spam your opponent out all the way to the body for the frag to be delivered. And that is a massive disadvantage when you're coming up against your enemy from the back. At first glance, it doesn't look that hard, but actually sometimes when you get deeper into the process, it may go absolutely awry for your team. And this is exactly what Complexity had in the previous. They are still around ahead. Of course, if they lose this round, this will automatically mean a Nico round or something similar to Force Buy, but even that don't think is going to be on the cards unless they win out this round. Nico takes the force down. That is an AWP dropped for Poison. Out of the game it goes. 3-on-2. Could be a possibility. And if Jax gets himself one more frag, but no, Conflict trades it. Still not good for the second one as well. And that will be a call for Complexity to save an AWP and an M4A4 that do eliminate the danger in form of the Nico, who was flanking from the back, and these two weapons will be carried over to the next round. Great opening by Nico as well, on top of the angle. Connects the first couple of shots and they sprays it all the way down. We are tying the score up. G2 do so. If you want to be more precise, as they executed the A-bomb side. You know, Nico was actually very good at causing the attention over the A-bomb side and instead letting the entire pack to attack B instead. And, you know, that was a very nice call for G2 that helped them out a lot because it felt like Complexity did shuffle their nerves a little bit. They were a little bit shaky at the end of G2 Esports executing the B-bomb side. They couldn't hold strong, and this is why G2 ended up victorious in that fight. So those details matter. How much attention you are stealing away from your enemy on either of the sides. Like, even if you're dispatching only one player to the A-bomb side, for example, as we saw in the previous round, it still can make a bit of a trouble for your enemies. This is why you've got to be always ready for any shenanigans prepared by your team, for any strike that can come through anytime, any day of the week. And as I'm saying that, Complexity are having 3 players with USPSs, so they're gonna rely solely on the AWP and an M4A4 setup. They are all stacked up on the A-bomb side except for JKS, and if they gamble correctly, this can actually work out, but the rest from G2 Esports are currently targeting the B-bomb side. I mean, there is no chance for JKS to line up at least one frag right here and make it competitive for the retake. And, you know, they're just going to get an AK-47 for Poison on the way through. This one is not good for the frag, so it falls down with no resistance at all. And it looks like G2 Esports are out to pick up the 4th round into their piggy bank. 4-on-3. We are soon to see the number rise for G2 Esports as soon as the bomb explodes. All 4 players will stay alive. So will Complexity with an AWP and an AK-47. Same was from the previous round, but unfortunately no conversion in this one. But that was a very bad one. JKS couldn't do a thing with the USPS. That was a gamble stack on the A-bomb side. It kind of worked out, but unfortunately G2 Esports had other intentions on that round specifically. So that was a very nice ruse shown by them to force Complexity into sticking around the A-bomb site, and instead that allowed them to execute B onto a fully naked JKS who had no clue, no imagination how to get creative enough for at least one frag. It is simply impossible. You are completely exposed and you have just zero chance of standing against your enemy. So this is the first tactical pause taken out by G2 Esports. They've taken the first round to lead over Complexity. This is their first time. This is the first time they are leading over Complexity, getting ahead of them after they won out the pistol round. And they want to talk things through. They want to make sure they extend the gap as much as they are able to feel way more comfortable on Vertigo, because this is the map pick of Complexity. And sure thing, if we are speculate on this one to go for the 3rd map, yeah, we've got to account for this one to fall into the piggy bank of Complexity. But G2 Esports are a team not to be trifled with, right? They are willing to take this map, and so is the 2nd, which is Nuke. Quite an uncommon pick for them, to be honest, which nobody expected to be in the map pool of this series, but it ended up being the one eventually. Poison with an AWP has been caught off with a flashbang. That is a very nice peek by Hunter. He's gonna take him down, and even good for the 2nd as well. He's opened the A-bomb site for the grabs. Agility all over the place will allow G2 Esports plant the bomb down and also force Complexity back. But look at this go. Config has just picked up a frag through the smoke, and this instantly allures them back into considering to retake the site. Still a heavy amount of utility line in front. They were having no defuse kits. Maybe there is, okay, there is one on JKS. I've just put it out, but Amanek holds strong. That angle goes fairly good for him. The time is heavily limited. The bomb planted for Hunter as well, and that's going to be a call for the save. Amanek is going to be so hot on the heels to hunt them all down. Coming from the back, sees the first one, tries to connect the spray down, but it's not going to happen. They will all stay alive. 3-5, and G2 Esports, it looked like that pause taken out by them by far made the necessary fruits, gave them the necessary fruits for the round conversion. That was a very nice attack by Hunter, especially. I mean, he's opened up 2 of the players, cracked them open, left no chance for any resistance. That flashbang to force Poison off his position was incredibly huge. And same do Complexity. The first technical pause, they are having quite a lot of frailties exploited by G2 Esports, and they don't really get why are they continuously ending up on top. Because, well, we are having a pretty strong haul, but something is missing. Some essential component is falling out of our list we've prepared for this matchup specifically. So G2 Esports are so far pretty good at abusing the setup from Complexity. They were also having the individuals to step up. That is Amanek, especially Hunter with the openings, and he does yet another. Over the molly he goes, he ignores it, and does put up the first opening in the round number 9. Great job done by him. JKS is a little bit doormat in this game. Blamaf so far looking very good. Rush as well on 7 kills. Config with 6. This Trio is having a really nice game. Config goes for the repick, and it does ensure this frag is his. A very nice retrade out of nothing. G2 Esports, they were prepared for this, but it looked like Kamenek missed his mark. Maybe got a little bit distracted on that push-up because, well, Config's confidence on that one boils over, and I'm pretty sure he's even capable for yet another frag in this round. You just have to believe. You just have to believe you are positioned well enough for the second frag, or at least for some impact, for some distraction by your teammate. A bit of a gap found by Jax, and this will instantly capitalize in a frag. Config fully blinded and still gets the frag. That is exactly what I'm talking about. 12 HP on his side, and he gets another. Oh my lord, look at this amount of impact. This guy, with only 12 HP off of the first opening frag, has just delivered 2 more frags, and that adds up to 3 at the end of this round. Nico, still a one-on-one, 10 seconds remaining. The pressure is on him. It's time. He's gonna go for the bomb plants, ducked into the ground, but Rush wraps around and does make sure he's buried to the ground. That is a very nice round out of Complexity. Config especially, the man you've got to be given credit to. I mean, fully blind against a frag to Jax. Jax not being able to connect a single bullet onto Config, and that is exactly what I was talking about. Great positioning, and he gets himself 2 more frags off of that first one. I mean, that is something you cannot argue with, right? G2 Esports, you've got to be rewatching this demo and questioning yourself, how has it happened? Because that's just been so damn weird. Okay, sweat off the forehead and move into the round number 10. We are still 5 away from closing this first half. Config again finding the first opening over the Amanek player. Just Amanek, yeah. Molly deployed, utility thrown away by G2 Esports. It looks like the 3-member squad is about to touch their hands onto the A-bomb site, supposedly so. They're crouching ever a bit closer. JKS, rather blame after the UMP45 is a bit aware of that. Poison just around the smoke is going to be hit with a very unpleasant time. A Blamaf coming from the back does capitalize. Rush falls down, and that is a 1 on 2. JKS is underperforming just a little bit, and maybe this is his time to thrive. He's got 2 of the players low HP. Oh, he's gonna come out up close next to fall. The next in line is gonna be Jax, but he is yet to decide where he is located. He's considering that as a possibility. Oh, that mall is gonna be huge. But he goes ahead of it, and that sound cue gives his position away, and Jax will fall down eventually. JKS to take him down. That is a round. Again, the clutch by JKS. Complexity stand out with incredible individual performances that buy them those rounds. G2 Esports are looking good, are looking hell better than Complexity in the beginning, but it is Complexity who snatch out the victory just at the end, just in the nick of time. I mean, Jax, he blinked. JKS as well. JKS was switching himself up to an AK-47. So Jax had a really huge chance to take him down, despite the odds in terms of HP favoring against him. I mean, that is so unfortunate for G2 Esports. Yet again, they are sprawling themselves into the B-bomb side with a fair amount of damage impacted early on. Another smoke popped off, but there's a missed grenade. Unfortunately, that could have done a fair bit of damage onto Hunter. Down he falls. Blamaf hunts for another. The bomb has not been planted down just yet. We saw a tip of his body. Nam jumps on top of the railing and does survive. Yet another frag. Jax against 2. He's having 100 HP, but being ran down from 2 of the angles. They are not going to let him plant down the bomb for sure. That's going to be a one-on-one duel won out by him, but it's not going to happen. Complexity do pick up the 6th round, and they are 1 round ahead. This round, I mean, this game is very rocky, really truly. It's been 2 rounds for sure. I've memorized them. 2 rounds for G2 Esports where they were dead sure the winners. And if they had won out, that would have been an 8 to somewhat to something score line already. So that is something that is quite unfortunate for them. I mean, definitely not looking good. Some of the very crucial rounds slipped by. But maybe Nexa is here for the revenge. He wants a grudge round. He wants to tie up the scoreline again, as it has been throughout this entire map so far. We'll see if it's going to be the case. The first one opening provided. The next in line is going to be Poison perhaps, but he thinks ahead of it and does take Nexa down. He also confirms nobody's up close. Recovers an AK-47 on his way down. 4-on-4. We are all tied up in terms of the players, and look at this. Frags favoring Complexity heavily, so Rush getting the frag, JKS as well, and Config still on the B-bomb side. We've got to be careful about this lurk. They know that this is a possibility and do get him down. 7-5. Ladies and gentlemen, G2 have been taken down again, and that is no bomb plants. Nothing to be happy about off of that first frag by Nexa, which was again a gift from the sky. He was blind. I'm not exactly sure whether Blamef was blind at the time Nexa was, but it looked to be a pretty favorable duel for Blamef if he hadn't been blind, of course. But overall, I mean, these are the opening frags going the way of G2 Esports, and they are yet being unable to convert. And this is again, Desk talked about it, 5v4 conversion, being 4 members, being 1 member down, being 1 member ahead of your enemy in the beginning of the game and still not converting with a 67% chance. I think Complexity do have 71. Desk was pointed out, as I know Maniac was talking about that specifically, and this is what is being displayed in this matchup by Complexity, that they are way better at converting those 5v4s against G2 Esports. Well, not necessarily 5v4s, but rather 2v1s, if you want to say so. But still, it's been a massive performance from all of the players. You can see Config just popping those heads out. It is a poor Nico left with the deagle. He's trying to make a difference. But again, these type of clutches don't happen that often. He's about to be sprayed down through the wall. The nade to be deployed, not dealing any damage thus far. Now it does. And he's about to fall off the ground. That is exactly what Complexity will do with him. 8-5, and G2 Esports are yet to come back. Of course, this is not a huge gap in terms of the rounds, but still something that you don't want to see happening if you are G2. Of course, this is not your map pick, and you are yet to show off what you are really capable of on Nuke. But I feel like Complexity are looking way more comfortable on Vertigo. That's for sure. You can see how much ground they are taking, how many set up switches they are experiencing as well. I mean, G2 Esports are just not expecting that. They are not having an extra second to process what's happening on the map. Complexity are ahead of them a couple of steps, that's for sure. And this is another round where the utility works out perfectly nice for Complexity. Config with an AWP does connect the shot, sprays. His spray is good as well from the top. Blamef delivers that one as well. It is Hunter left against 2. He's going to be brought down by Poison as well. And the 9th round knocks on the door for Complexity in the penultimate round. Ladies and gentlemen, we are off to the last round of this half, and Complexity are already showing some sharp performance. I definitely like how Complexity are imposing their own playstyle across the entire map. You could see how many openings they do just because of their position, is just because of their playstyle they're showing off right now. Config pre-aimed at Nico. Unfortunately, not being able to back off after getting the first one down. Jax retrades it. And that is at least something to chew on for G2 Esports. At least they are not one man down against 5 alive on the complexity side. That is a 4-on-4. Oh, Rush, you've got to be so damn ambitious to go for that kind of a play. JKS spots out yet another to the top. He will go down. That is a bit of a gap to work with for Blamaf, but his plans have been derailed as well. Poison coming through. He's going to get the bomb down. Oh, that is a very crucial fight as well, but Nexa from the back prevails, saving the day for G2 Esports. That is 6-9 at the end of the first half, favoring complexity in this contention. So far, looking very good for them. We're going to see how this one pieces together over the second half, but after a short break. Nine to 6, the score line that was drawn out at the end of the first half between G2 and Complexity. This one looks pretty good for Complexity to push their map pick over the line. I'm pretty sure there is a lot of room for them to do so. Their map pick looking very good, very competitive. 9 to 6, and they've been able to grant themselves so many really hard rounds. A lot of clutches went in their favor. JKS and Rush, all around the place, they've been so damn present for the round to be a possibility. Right now, we are switching the sides. G2 Esports continue on the city. Slightly favored on Vertigo, I would say, compared to the T's. So we'll see how this one pans out. Still, I'm a little bit doubtful on how G2 Esports are going to convert Vertigo, because I'm pretty sure Complexity are way better on this one. And Molly to be bursting behind the sandboxes. We'll see nobody right there, but Nico connects a shot through the smoke, and this becomes a little bit problematic. Shouldn't be that troublesome for them to get the bomb down. Complexity, they are into the post-plant scenario with 4 players still alive. Please don't you tell me you're gonna lose one more. They are trying to seal the deal right here. Config gets himself one more frag. That is a 4-on-4. G2 Esports are having a few skits available as well, so they can take their time and calmly walk into the A-bomb set. They are not able to find the bomb taken just yet. It is just in front of them right here, right now. JKS leans out of the boxes. He needs to stay alive a little bit longer, buy some time, and the bomb is soon to explode as well. This round goes in favor of Complexity, ladies and gentlemen. G2 Esports stand no chance in the second pistol round. The first one went in their favor, but I mean, this one started really good for Nico. He took the first player down, then the second. Nico is actually one of the best players on the pistol rounds right now to this tournament. He's had 1.57 KD with a pistol. I do think so, right? Yeah, on the pistol rounds, he has been phenomenal. Nobody can doubt that. Right now, forced by after losing the pistol rounds. The same did Complexity, so maybe G2 Esports are having a chance to shut them down on the force buy and stream into a conversation, you know, show us that they are also not an outsider in this game. They are a bit of an enemy to be aware of. Config makes a jump over the sandboxes. Amanek has been spotted out. He's going to be flashed out as well. And Config, accompanied by, will get him down. There is one more wall set up by G2 Esports. And it looks like it's about to be shut down 4-on-2. As we are about to see Complexity soar their round count up to 11. 3-on-2. I mean, there was not a lot to be working about, not a lot to be talking about for G2 Esports. They don't have any defuse kits. They take it now or back off with the weapon saved, with the armor, because if they lose it now, sure thing that's going to be a Nico round for them in the next one. Nico comes in with a fragment rush. Nexa coming ever a bit closer. There is another smoke to refresh, and they do get another. JKS is going to stay alive, does get him down, and Nico comes off of the bomb defusal. That is the 11th for Complexity. JKS saves the day for the team. Yeah, that could have gone awry for Complexity for sure. I didn't see G2 Esports retaking the site, but it definitely made me think that it's going to be a possibility. Very, very close, but unfortunately JKS was the last bottleneck to be worrying about. He was the one to dismantle the plans for G2 Esports in the previous run. They are with the full eco round. Only one deagle onto Nico. Not a lot to be bragging about, really. 11-6, and I think this one is going to be halved. 12-6 is going to be the eventual score line after this round goes out. A bit of extra damage by JKS, but there's got to be something more. This has to be consecutive shots connected and the frags delivered. That is not a possibility. Config with a MAC-10 has found himself one frag just for the farming purpose. A accounts for a little bit more money right there. Spots Amanek on top, tries to spray him down, and no casualties for Complexity just yet. But with 1 HP, Config, you've got to find a spot to save your Mac 10, because 1 HP and you are all dead. You've got to be going far away from the explosion. I believe he's going to be just enough distance away to survive that. And yes, it's going to be exactly the case. Complexity reach 12 rounds. These are the double digits exploding and forcing G2 Esports to mount 6 rounds for the tie of the score up. Now they are going for the full buy. An AWP setup is also going to be present onto Amanek as usual. Hunter is playing with an AUG. The rest well equipped with M4A4s. Utility is also on the cards. Same for Complexity, but no AWP setup. They are having 2 Mac 10s. So in terms of the weaponry, G2 Esports are having a chance to rip this one back. Unfortunately, it hasn't been so. I mean, Complexity are still very good at converting the rounds, despite their disadvantage in terms of weapons. Of course, this is an unforced one because they won out the previous round. And what's the purpose of switching your weapons up if you can get your economy up just a little bit? Lots of utility damage impacted onto G2 Esports. 2 of the players are already halved. Blamaf will take Jax out. That is reverse damage completely. Unsuccessful. I mean, Config and Rush with Mac 10s. What are you doing with my mind? You are absolutely out of normality. You are abnormal. You are getting another one with a Mac 10 Config. You've got to be kidding me. This guy is an absolute beast. He's up to 22 frags. He's leading the scoreboard. And there is no single doubt about him being the dominant power over this map. Vertigo has put Config into a driving seat for Complexity, which is not something G2 Esports are satisfied of. Amanek is the only man to be trawling around with an AWP. Of course, he will be allowed to save. But, I mean, Config with a Mac 10... You don't care how many good weapons you have. You don't care how much you are speculated to lose in this one. No, it's just Mac 10s that are coming out on top against full buy with M4s, with AUG, with an AWP. That is pure craziness. Utility damaged. Not good for G2 Esports. Complexity have been dealing utility impacts left and right. Amanek with an AWP has been appointed to play with that weapon. Now they know his position, but he can rotate over to the A-bomb side. It is not going to be the case just yet. Instead, peering himself over the middle next to the Deagle. He's up to a very tall task to combat with this pack of players. Rushing down the B-bomb side. They are taking it all, dead to their rights. 2 of the members fall down, and Complexity have no chance of losing this round, basically. G2 Esports are compelled to save their AWP. Config is not scared at all. Of course, he's going to be shut down on this one. And Complexity are immediately slowed down. Of course, there is not going to be a retake for G2 Esports. It is just about collecting your weapons, saving them into the next round, and trying to pull off a comeback, which is still a very questionable task, considering the fact that this one will go 14-6. As soon as the bomb explodes, Hunter will also fall down, but at least 2 of the players will be able to save up their weapons, the AWP and M4A4, to accompany the string. So, just 2 rounds away, and the map peak for Complexity is going to be locked in. Vertigo is very sharp for Complexity. I don't think there is a single team right now to the tournament that can match up against Complexity and Vertigo, it seems. I mean, Vertigo is such a dominant map for Complexity. It might be a permanent pick for them, right? If you're seeing Complexity, and if you've just watched how Complexity play on Vertigo, you're going to be thinking about crossing this map out, because you don't want to be challenging yourself against a team like Complexity, who've been just phenomenal monsters on this map. They've been showing an incredible performance on Vertigo. We are yet to see how this one goes on Nuke, because G2 honestly surprised me a little bit with their map pick. I honestly thought they would go for Mirage or Ancient, as Nico pointed out in the interview, that they can potentially go for that kind of a pick. But yeah, eventually decided to go for Nuke, and that was something tiny bit unexpected, for me the very least. Okie dokie, G2 Esports are 8 rounds away to tie up the scoreline. That is a huge distance created by Complexity throughout the series, throughout this map. 5-5, no blood drawn just yet, but there is just enough for Poison to pull off the trigger in time. He does catch Jax off guard, and that brings them the first man advantage up on the board against G2. And native LP4 Amnek is still alive on the server. It is currently the only player standing on the B-bomb side. 2 of the members are heading around A. That is Nico behind the wall, which is not a usual position to be in. He's going to be able to shut down 2. That is a great impact by Kovac. Another brother, his cousin, behind the sandboxes. He's going to be expected. Lord, this is the prime moment for him to shine. They're having no clue. Overview on top. He sees the first and about to line up 2. Here they come. Down they fall. Poison and JKS all combined will add up to a huge round advantage in this one. 10 seconds remaining on the clock. FlameAF has got to go down. He has no real necessity to save his AK-47. The flashbang is going to be deployed, and he's going to be fallen before the time expires, which is definitely good for Complexity, despite their economy is in good shape. It was rather about denying G2 Esports, because every single weapon you rip out of their boards definitely matters, because their economy has been down so many times. The winner of this match progresses to play against NIP. Complexity, they may be the enemy to grudge on for NIP, because the NIP were the ones to lose against Complexity in a 2-0 fashion in the beginning of the bracket. It was one of the first matches of Blast Premier Spring Finals, and you can see again how many frags are converting for Complexity in the beginning of the round. Nexa, while on the other side of the map, he has something to say about that. The rest also, and Complexity all fall into pieces in a space of a second. 2 frags early on, and they are already down. Nothing more established by them, so Complexity will remain poised on 14 rounds, and G2 Esports are up to 8. Well, having a bit of a chance to come back, that's for sure. But against Complexity, who are so damn successful in getting the openings, of course, the prime goal for G2 Esports is to at least shut their economy down, because once that is achieved, which is not that easy to do if you're playing against the T's, but still, if you manage to do so at least for 1 round, you are gaining a bit more breathing room. So they're going to find it right now. Still, Complexity are having a healthy buy acquired. That is 5 AKs, no AWP setup just yet, which is not something you can say about G2 Esports. Amnek, he considers himself too explosive, too present in this position, he will be punished for that. G2 esports are 2-man down. And Complexity, you don't want to let the same mistakes happen in the round number 23 as it was in the round number 22, because you had exactly the same man advantage, but all of a sudden it went completely awry for you. Nico standing up close. Is trying under this angle. That's going to be a pop flash into the pack of players. JKS will fall, but so will Nico. No more frags delivered by him. Hunter on top of the box tries to climb up and add up to something more for the G2 squad, but no, not going to be a case nearby. Complexity with the 15th for sure. There is simply nothing Nexa can do against 4 big boys staying alive on Complexity. This is Blaymath, Poison, Config, JKS, Rush, all delivering, especially Config. Credit to him. How many frags, how many clutches, how many outstanding plays has he been able to put out in this matchup specifically? Again, 2 frags for Config in the beginning. I think he wasn't able to get the 3rd, but 2 frags. I mean, he's always, it feels like he's the one who gets most of the frags in the beginning and then throws the rest of responsibility onto other members of the team to grind it all the way down to 0 kills for G2. Easy as that. You know, he sees a message pinned on a desk, on some desk, and there was a message stating, "We need a guy who will open up any side of the map with 2 frags or so in the beginning." And very consistent, and he's the one to be called out into this one. He says, "Guys, I'm able to do so." Easy as that. And he does it every day of the week on Vertigo. Exact testament towards that. I mean, how are you going to match up against Complexity? Such players whose performance has been boiling over. It's been high above the limit. Complexity with 15 rounds. 1 away from picking their map pick already. They are definitely yearning towards picking this up as soon as possible. But still being quite decisive and thoughtful on how they want to execute the B-bomb side. This time around, they are jumping into Nexa Siege, who will get 1 frag Amanek with an AWP as well. 1 more hiding behind the E-box. JKS still alive, but Jax, the player starting off with the same letter behind his nickname, will go for the back. Helped out by Nico to get that frag early on. JKS still gets himself 1 more, but that's going to be more. Blaymath tries to create a difference right here. He just gets 1 more down. Here and now, maybe this is going to be possible. He goes for the bomb plan. He's going to fake it out. Goes for the pick, but that is expected by Nico. 15 for Complexity. And 9th for G2. They are holding onto the edge. These rounds are as close as you like this game to go. This is so nice to witness. Both of these teams trying to fight for the lifeline in this tournament. As I've mentioned multiple times, this match is going to be deciding who flies out of this one. It's either Complexity or G2 Esports. Complexity are already about to secure the guarantee in the form of 1 map up their sleeve. 15-9. 2 deagles for Complexity. They are having economy distress by many means, so thereby not looking good compared to G2's. The aggression by Jax. No utility thrown out until now. He's been dealt with a lot of damage. Tries to escape. That is the nade to deny him And one more player still trying to escape out of the smoke. He still sticks around. The fence will be dropped by JKS. And this is going to be equalized, a 3-on-3. Maybe a chance for Complexity to shut them down. Here comes the first one. Experiences his death, but Blaymaf on the side. Or rather, Nico on the side to get him down. JKS is on 16 HP left to work with. Nico goes for the reload and eventually comes out on top with the frag he needs. So the 10th round, G2 Esports reached the double digits. I think they're gonna be just fine if they lose this map, because while it's hard to disagree, it's hard to argue with the fact that Complexity are just looking way better on this one. And for G2 Esports, like if they lose it 16-10, of course, I don't think it's going to be possible because we are having a full eco round for Complexity. But imagine they let this one slip through with a 16-11 scoreline. It's still going to be satisfying for them because you didn't expect them to go out victorious on Vertigo. At least after seeing Complexity started off in such a big fashion. Amanek goes down the ramp, finds a bump, drops Rush down, and leaves 3 poor members alive. This is a destitute situation to recover from, but they are still getting the frags. 2-on-2. How is this happening again? Please tell me. Somebody convey the principle of how this one works, because I don't get it. It's a 2-on-2, and imagine if Complexity do make this round work. I still don't believe it's going to be possible. Hunter coming in from the back has been met by JKS. Unfortunately, just 19 HP away from taking him down. Config coming all the way from the back is about to make himself out of the smoke. Oh, this is all about timing. He's going to be shut down from the back. Nexa holds this game as tight as possible. The 11th hits in, and another tactical pause used out by Complexity. You've got to find a solution right now before it comes out to overtime. You don't want to let it happen whatsoever. G2 Esports, if you allow them to accumulate the momentum after being how many? They were 8 rounds down. It was a 14-6 at some point of game, at some point in time. And then they are already with a 15-11, just 4 away from time to score up. Of course, still a road to go through, but definitely looking way better than it used to be. So G2 Esports, if they really make it to overtime, I'm going to be so damn surprised. And they all deserve a lot of credit for that. So 15 seconds before the game resumes, because G2 Esports were next in line to pick up another tactical pass. That is the last one, actually. And this is the best time to take it out, because you are going to be fighting against a full buy on Complexity side, as they saved up just enough cash from the previous. Set up things as dual as possible. You want to make sure it goes flawless against Complexity on the city side. Next is having an MP9, slightly unfavored, but maybe good based on their setup right now. He goes for the B hold. Just something you don't want to look at. It may become very painful if they decide to pull off the pedal towards that side of the map. There's Hunter to help him out. Nico as well, hanging around that area specifically. 2 of the last players are being around the A-bomb site. Complexity are looking to target the A side. At the end of the day, perhaps is going to be the case. Still holding themselves behind the smoke. As soon as that dissipates, they will take a couple of steps further as they approach the upper ramp. 1 minute left on the clock. Still a lot to decide. Oh, Jax double nade into his position. He's going to be shut down, knocked out. 4 nades in total, and they're going to make it 5-4. G2 Esports Oh my god. It's going to be a very hard challenge. Nico as well missing. Molly. It's going to go completely the other position. A 4-on-3. Of course, the retake. Utility deployed. Good for covering off a couple of angles. Jake has to fall down. Config on top of the boxes. Makes it a 2-on-2, but Blaymath instantly responds. That is Blaymath to secure the last frag, and we gonna confirm the first peak coming in favor of Complexity. That is 16-11. Unfortunately, just 4 rounds away from time to score up. Good attempts by G2 Esports for sure. That was a very nice one. I mean, you cannot doubt that G2 Esports did their best to try and pull off that comeback against Complexity, but unfortunately, Complexity again. I reiterate that, but it is important to mention, with the amount of impact they've been able to give in based on Config and his incredible, masterful performance in aggressing forwards and getting those openings, they wouldn't be able to make that game in such a fashion. I'm pretty sure about that. So Config was a real X factor against G2 Esports, and I'm pretty sure he's yet to show more in the next map, which is going to be happening just after a short break. So ladies and gentlemen, don't go far off your seats, stay tuned, and we will be right back in just a few moments.